Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly show where we sit down and have a lovely fireside chat about everything PlayStation, except instead of a fire, it's a camera, and we record everything for you to enjoy. This week we thought it would be fun to do a bit of PlayStation show and tell. We each think of a fond video game memory and bring in a relevant object to illustrate it. I'm up first with a story that is sure to disarm you.
Right, so let me introduce everyone to Sephiroth. Sephiroth! Not as intimidating, with only one arm, as you can see. You may have recognised Sephiroth, people who've watched the channel for a while. He used to be back on the old shelf. We've also got Cloud and Tifa up there. Those are all my actual real life Final Fantasy toys. Figurines.
I know.
Should I say figurines?
And serious collectors may have, kept them in the box, but I've never been like a serious collector. I wanted to, take them out the box and play with them and make their arms move, etc., etc. But when I first was with my wife, then girlfriend, I'm talking about 12 years ago now, and she was, discovering my love for Final Fantasy and gaming in general. This was back in the day when we used to do like nice surprise things for each other, and I think it was the January after I just had my birthday, and she was coming over to my flat, and I told her I didn't like birthday cakes specifically, so she
I'm very upset right now.
not like I'm not a huge cake fan in general. I like carrot cake, but anyway, I said and so I got back into my flat, and she'd got like a load of birthday donuts, which I thought was really cool, and put like a candle in each donut. And also she had bought me 3 like Final Fantasy VII figurines from.
She's a keeper.
I was gonna say.
And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I think Sephiroth was one, Tifa was one, and I believe Aeris was another. So this Sephiroth is my actual Sephiroth from 12 years ago. My wife bought him for me as a birthday present. And now, as you can see, he only has one arm. And that is because we made a video, it was a Friday feature called 7 Things in Every JRPG. And I had the brilliant idea that we should present this video as if we're like making a cake or like a thing. And so each ingredient that went into a JRPG was actually, I turned it into a food ingredient, and it was all disgusting.
It's actually very clever. It's a very clever literary device.
Clever framing device that probably would have been, funny and amusing for one entry, but we stretched it out for all 7 entries. And I think one of the ingredients was like you have to have a diabolical villain, and I'd sort of run out of actual food ingredients by this point. So what can I use for a villain? I know, it would be funny, wouldn't it, if we just throw an actual toy of Sephiroth into this sort of like horrible cake mix. So Sephiroth went in, and I think it was Dave's idea. It was like, wouldn't it be funny if like in the final shot it's just like you see Sephiroth's arm in the cake? And I was like, ha ha ha, that would be really funny. But then I realised I would have to break my toy to do it. I was like, I'm not going to do that. But then I just did do that.
So it was Dave's fault.
I come off a little bit like a villain here. I said it like it would be funny, and never expecting Rob, not asking Rob to do that to his beloved figurine. I just thought it would be funny, and then I sent it out there like a little boat, and Rob, I could see the gears going in his head. It would be funny. What's more important?
Funniness in a video is the most important thing in the world. If you have an idea and it's slightly funny, it won't go out of my brain. It would be funny though, wouldn't it? It'd be really funny. And so it was like, I tried to make it a clean break, because they're like, his arm is joined by like a little socket. unfortunately I couldn't do that and it snapped. So the arm cannot go back in. I guess we could glue it on. Confession, I don't actually know where his arm is now.
Yeah.
Still in
Could
the
be
cake.
anywhere. I don't know. It could be anywhere in the office, but I know. I kind of like it because there's now a story to Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Like sometimes broken toys are more valuable than not broken toys.
Yeah.
That's
Not
what I'm
actually,
telling.
but
That's
yeah.
what I'm telling myself anyway.
That's the bit you're going to show your wife.
Well, it's But yeah, and so Sephiroth has a story now. He's now broken, and I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it like that. So yeah, there is my PlayStation show and tell.
All right, my thing is, one of the first games journalism articles I ever wrote from 2008.
Whoa.
So this is when I was the arts editor of my university paper, which was called Scan, which is why it's Scan Arts Guide to 2008. And so this was I did a preview to 2008 and it was things that you should be excited about. There's also Sex and the City the movie,
Wow.
which has a really sexist intro, which is, sorry boys, but I suggest you prepare yourselves.
Did you write that out?
Yeah. I was thinking it was so good. I was like, you'll definitely be dragged to the most anticipated film of 2008 at least once. So yeah, sorry everyone. But the game was Grand Theft Auto 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
So I wrote a really terrible preview. Which was like, I used like loads of capitals. There was like just too much ridiculousness in there. It starts with, this may sound like a slight exaggeration, but GTA 4 is probably the most eagerly awaited game ever. Ever. What? And then I kind of mentioned this on Twitter before, so people might have seen some of it. And I literally wrote in it, I said, it's for PlayStation, and they're the only people who deserve it. And then everybody was really angry with me.
For telling the truth.
For telling the truth, because I've always been a PlayStation person. I truly just believed it was the best, and I was like, as an impartial game journalist, the best thing to do is say that in there. And so it's like,
Well, look at you now.
I know. So yeah, so I had written that in there, and then I was just really, really hyperbolic. So I continued to say, with such a fantastic console as merely the base for what is arguably the best game ever created, like what? You can just imagine how good GTA 4 is going to be.
Is there any actual information in it?
There is actually no more swivel and shoot targeting. Lead character Nico can hide behind cars, walls, and people for protection while firing. You can fly for the first time in Liberty City.
Ooh, that's a good
Well,
one.
without cheating anyway.
Oh my god, finger on the pulse.
Yeah, so it's literally probably the worst thing I've ever written, and yeah, I was very, very proud of it, and I was very excited because I had to convince everybody that games deserve to be in an arts roundup of the year.
Well, that is definitely
This
commendable.
is cool.
Right,
That's
so yeah,
definitely
so I made it like the big first thing, because that was the thing I was most excited about that year.
I recognise that silhouette.
Yeah, yes, literally. I was really obnoxious. I think I had written one more before this, which I can't find, where I reviewed Pez and was even worse. So I'm glad I didn't bring that one in, where I just was really obnoxious about it.
You said it
And
was
like,
good, right?
yeah, I really loved Pez, and I kind of compared it to FIFA and was like, this is what's better in Pez, this is what's better in FIFA, but was really obnoxious and like, it's so underrated. If you know anything about physics and football, you'd like, you don't appreciate Pez. People don't know about Pez, okay? Like,
I'd
as
love
if-
to have known Elle in 2008 wearing a beret.
to Sex and the City in the cinema. Yeah, so actually I'm not sure why I brought this in. Maybe I'm going to scrap this whole video. Maybe made
Burn it
a
down.
huge,
Burn
yeah.
it down.
So
You've kept this though, Al. You've obviously kept it.
I know, and I
You
did.
know deep down.
It's important.
It's who I am.
Yeah.
This is my origin story. Yeah, so this is my show and tell.
What has Rosie brought in to show and tell today? I'm very excited about this one, and it's got a fun story and also a lovely story. So,
2 stories.
2 stories. I have brought in my I have brought my physical version of the Jungle Book Groove Party, which I absolutely love. And people may notice it's actually the Jungle Book because it's a Dutch version. So,
I did not notice that. I was like, no, Rosie, it's definitely book.
yeah, spelled B-O-E-K. So my story with this is that I love the Jungle Book Groove Party. I've got a lot of fun memories of it from when I was a child, and I remember my nan once brought this exact box, but the English version, when my brother and I were younger, and many hours were spent into this game. So
Is
many.
this the one you play on your birthday?
Yes.
Yes.
This is
I
the
don't
same
remember if
game.
that was a lie or true.
It was the truth.
Well, I don't remember what I thought or what I think now.
Yes, every year for my birthday, I play this game. I just do a marathon, like I do all the levels in it. It takes around like an hour and a half. Yeah, it's my little birthday cake. And I've still got the original PS1 game that my nan gave my brother and I when we were kids. So that one is on my shelf back at home. I take lots of care of it and I absolutely love it. But I sadly, you know, with the dance mats, they were very fragile sometimes when you're a kid and you just want to stomp on like all the arrows that are going around. So your mum goes, "Will you stop playing with that stupid thing?" And you're there like stomping everything. So I think my mum probably threw away the dance mat. We have no idea where it went. It just one day it just vanished. And I've always wanted the physical whole set for years. I've wanted it. And one year, for Christmas 2017, my boyfriend, bless his little cottons, was very sweet and travelled a total of 4 hours to get me this in the Netherlands.
Wow.
Apparently the guy had been selling it for months and no one wanted it.
What? I can't believe this.
And then 2 hours back, and at this point I was in a long distance relationship, so I remember my boyfriend, bless him, he never used to wrap up presents until I forced him to because I said it's part of the fun. But bless him, he didn't
That
have
is
enough.
right, by the way, that's true.
Yeah, you have to wrap
factual,
up a present. But he didn't fully wrap it, so I remember having a Skype call with him and it was behind him on the windowsill, but the bottom was just nearly visible because he wrapped up the top, just the bottom wasn't. So I couldn't see it.
What's wrong with him? Amazing gesture.
I'll just wrap it up half. And then you get in the background of our
Well,
Skype
you know what? You need to
conversation.
compromise in relationships. So.
I'll wrap half of it.
Well, no, it was wrapped up like.
To the wrapping of
I'll
presents.
do the bottom later. Probably. Maybe.
It was wrapped up. I mean, yeah, it was wrapped up. It was just like that much, I think, wasn't done, but I couldn't
Just
see.
the bit where the characters are.
Yeah, he had it behind him. He probably put it there on purpose, and he was like, "Ooh, what's this? You're gonna get it for Christmas." And I was like, I looked at the
Judging
box.
by the bottom, I think
I see Shere Khan.
Well, no, from the size of it, because it was all in wrapping paper, and from the size of it, I just said, "Oh my god, I bet it's the Jungle Book Groove Party." I don't know how I guessed it,
Oh, God.
Actually,
but bless him,
go
his
like,
face.
Maybe an elephant. That's how you do guessing.
But his face, bless him, he was like, "Ah, ha, 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 no, I haven't got you that stupid
Definitely
thing."
not that. So put that idea out of your
Yeah.
mind. That's the last thing it could be.
He was like,
Not
"Oh
that.
no, I'll give you a hint. It might be something Parappa related." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, it might be something Parappa." I was like, "What is this Parappa thing then?"
No, I know everything about Parappa.
Yeah.
There's nothing Parappa is sold in
No
that size
retail
box.
edition was that
Those are the
size.
exact dimensions of the Jungle Book
I was-
Dutch edition.
And then Christmas 2017, I think it might have been the first Christmas we spent together once I moved out, so it was just the two of us. And obviously I opened it, I was absolutely thrilled, and he said, "Now I got this not because I wanted to, but out of love. You're the only one stupid enough to want this stupid thing." So that is my story with why I have a physical version with the mat and the Dutch version of the game and everything in the Jungle Book Groove Party on the PlayStation 1.
Well, this has been lovely. I've enjoyed all these stories. My short story is quite short. I forgot we were doing this today. No, I didn't. My show and tell is actually a human being. And I'd like to invite to the stand, Your Honour, Mr. Dan Wheeler. Just wait. Yeah, if you could. That's right. I think you're going to have to kneel. You have to kneel
kneel.
behind me.
Is Dan allowed to
Dan Neil. Dan is not allowed to talk. That is very important. Do not talk, Dan.
Dan should be sitting on your lap.
Yeah, I know.
He won't. He's too tall. I don't mind.
That's
You're
more
welcome.
comical.
He's welcome to. All right. Why have I invited Dan Wheeler to the Tuesday checklist this Wednesday? It's because of this story. It's a little quirk of fate, actually, really, that has had a massive impact on my life and Dan's as well, perhaps. He can't say. So, way back in 2011. Dan and I means a lot to Dan, obviously. It was a big time in Dan's life. Dan and I, unbeknownst to each other, both got the same job. There were two positions. We didn't realise this. We both applied for this job to be a video editor. We both went through the process. We did the interviews. We got the job. I had the phone call. Congratulations, you got the job. I was like, yeah, so happy. Turned up on day one. Who else is waiting in reception? Dan Wheeler. I was like, what? You're doing it as well? I thought I got the... All right. There's two of us then. Fantastic. A little bit, annoying, if I'm honest. But no, good.
You weren't the best.
I wasn't the best. I was joint best out of the three people that applied. So yes, Dan and I started the same day doing exactly the same job. We were both video editors for a games magazine publisher, and we've been doing this for a couple of months. And around that time, sitting nearby to us were Nathan Dighton and Robert Pearson, who were starting this new thing called PlayStation Access, and they needed a video editor. And it was literally like, our boss at the time was just like, I don't know, Dave, do you want to do it? And so by pretty much a flip of a coin, I was asked ahead of Dan. It was literally, the plan was that we were going to do, 6 weeks each, something like that, and then swap. And obviously I was just absolutely amazing at it, and they were like, don't get that Dan in, like, whatever you do.
Dan, you are allowed to speak.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the 6 weeks came and went, and I'm sure Dan was like, are we swapping soon? That was the plan. I was keeping my head down. I was like, I'm quite enjoying this PlayStation Access, actually. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just not going to mention it. And the rest is history. That's literally it. Like, it was like a toss of a coin. They needed a video editor one day. Dan and I were in exactly the same boat, doing exactly the same job. Had worked there exactly the same amount of time, and knew Rob and Nath exactly the same 0 amount. And for whatever reason, I got that job, which I'm not saying is better than what happened to Dan. I'm just saying it's what happened to me and has led me on this path.
With an unusually smug look on your face. Though.
Unusually smug?
Yeah.
The normal amount of smug.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with how things turned out. But Dan's the actual fan favourite. All I ever hear is, "Where's Dan? Where's Dan? Where's Dan?" He's behind the camera, where he belongs.
Silence.
Yes. So Dan is my PlayStation show and tell. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, you Access.
That's okay.
So yeah, my wife has never seen this video. She doesn't watch the channel, she doesn't care. She won't see this. Look what I did to the present, it's broken. She's never going to see it, doesn't matter.
Right, she's going to get an anonymous message from me, just a link.
I love you, darling. Anyway, there are our favourite PlayStation memories. Let us know some of your own funny stories in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and join us again next week for another Tuesday checklist. Thanks for watching.
For the players.